I still remember the exact words she used. We were standing in our kitchen, the kitchen I'd renovated myself last summer with the marble countertops she'd insisted on, and Jessica looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Cold. Almost bored. I need to talk to you about us, Marcus. 7 years of marriage. 7 years of building a life together. I'd just gotten promoted to senior project manager at the firm. We'd been talking about kids, about buying a bigger house, about our future. What's going on? I asked, setting down my coffee. She sighed, like I was already exhausting her. I've been thinking about this for a while. We're not working anymore. You're comfortable, predictable. I need more than what you're giving me. I felt my chest tighten. What does that mean? We can work on things. Counseling. No, she cut me off. I don't want to work on it. I want out. She paused, and then delivered the line that would echo in my head for weeks. You're nice, Marcus. You're safe. But I need someone who excites me. Someone who makes me feel alive. I was furniture. 7 years meant nothing. Is there someone else? The question came out before I could stop it. Her laugh was bitter. Does it matter? This isn't about someone else. It's about you not being enough. My best friend Derek was supposed to come over that morning to help me install new shelving in the garage. He arrived 15 minutes early, walked into the kitchen, and caught the tail end of our conversation. Marcus, buddy, I can come back. No, stay. He should have a witness for this anyway. Marcus, I want a divorce. I've already talked to a lawyer. You'll be hearing from them next week. Derek stood there, frozen, coffee in hand, while my wife of 7 years told me I wasn't enough, that I was boring, predictable, safe. She walked past me to grab her purse from the counter. I'm staying at my sister's for a while. I'll get the rest of my things next weekend. Jess, wait. It's over, Marcus. Accept it. And she left, just like that. Derek stayed with me for 3 hours that day, not saying much, just being there. But I could see it in his eyes. Pity. That look that said, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Over the next few days, word spread through our social circle. Jessica's version of events spread faster. At our friend Amy's birthday dinner that weekend, a dinner Jessica had insisted I still attend because we're adults about this, I overheard her talking to a group of our mutual friends. I just couldn't do it anymore, she was saying, wine glass in hand. He's a good guy, but God, he's boring. No spontaneity, no passion. I felt like I was dying inside. Our friend Rachel nodded sympathetically. You have to do what's right for you. Exactly. Life's too short to settle. I stood in the hallway outside the living room, holding a beer I couldn't drink, listening to my wife tell our friends that being married to me was like dying. That night, alone in our bed, the bed that was now just my bed, I made a decision. If she wanted out, fine. But I wasn't going to be the pathetic husband who begged. I wasn't going to be poor Marcus. I was going to handle this with dignity. What I didn't know yet was that Jessica's real reason for leaving had nothing to do with me being boring.
The divorce papers arrived on a Tuesday. I signed for them at the door, thanked the courier, and sat at my kitchen table reading through the demands. Jessica wanted half of everything, including the house. Her lawyer was aggressive. The tone was clear. She expected me to roll over. Something felt off. The timing was too convenient. The lawyer already retained. The confidence in her voice when she'd ended things. I need someone who excites me. That phrase kept playing in my head. Not, I need excitement, but someone. I called Derek that night. I need your honest opinion. Do you think she's seeing someone else? Silence on the line. Then, Marcus, I don't know, but the way she handled everything, it felt rehearsed, you know? The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I looked at our phone bill online.
We had a family plan, and I was the account holder. I pulled up the last 3 months of Jessica's call and text records. The same number appeared dozens of times, daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Calls lasting 30, 40 minutes, texts at all hours. I didn't recognize the number. I sat there staring at my computer screen, my coffee getting cold, and I felt something shift inside me. Not anger yet, something colder, more focused. I took a screenshot of everything, saved it to a folder on my computer, backed it up to the cloud. Then I started looking at other things. Our joint credit card statements. I'd always handled our finances, but I never really scrutinized the details. Now I did. Restaurants I'd never been to. Hotel charges during days when Jessica said she was working late or having girls' night. A jewelry store purchase from 2 months ago. I'd never received any jewelry. I documented everything. Spreadsheet, dates, times, amounts. I was a project manager. Organization was what I did. By the end of the week, I had a pattern. The calls to the unknown number correlated with the mysterious charges. When she called him, she'd spend money. Restaurants, hotels, gifts. But I needed more. I called a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, the best divorce attorney in the city, Richard Chen. He had a reputation for being ruthless but fair. His consultation fee was $500 for an hour. "Mr. Parker," he said when we met, "tell me everything." I showed him my documentation, the phone records, the credit card statements, the timeline I'd built. He leaned back in his chair. "This is good work. But in a no-fault divorce state, infidelity doesn't always matter unless you can prove dissipation of marital assets, spending joint funds on an affair partner. She spent over $15,000 in 3 months on charges I can't account for." His eyebrows rose. "That changes things. But we need to be strategic. Does she know you're documenting this?" "No. She thinks I'm just accepting everything." "Good. Keep it that way. Don't confront her. Don't show your hand. Let her think you're rolling over. Meanwhile, we build an airtight case. Over the next 2 weeks, I became someone I didn't recognize. Methodical, patient, cold. I hired a private investigator. Chen recommended someone discreet. His name was Steve, former police detective, now doing private work. He was expensive, but worth it. I need to know who she's seeing, and I need evidence. Steve followed Jessica for 5 days. On day 3, he called me. "Marcus, you need to sit down for this." My heart pounded. "What did you find?" "It's not one guy. I've documented her meeting with 3 different men in the last 72 hours. Different locations, different hotels." I felt the room tilt. 3? And that's just in 3 days. This pattern, if she's been doing this for months like your records suggest, Marcus, I need to keep surveillance going. Do it, whatever it costs. By the end of week 2, Steve had documentation of Jessica meeting with 5 different men. 5. Some were one-time encounters. 2 appeared to be ongoing. The number from the phone records belonged to someone named Tyler, and she saw him most frequently. But here's the thing that broke something in me. Steve found her cloud storage account. Jessica used the same password for everything. I'd always told her to change it, but she never did. In her cloud, Steve found videos, dozens of them. She'd been filming herself with these men, recording everything. Apparently, it was part of the thrill for her. When Steve showed me the files, I only looked at the thumbnails, couldn't bring myself to watch. I saw dates. Some of these videos were from 6 months ago. She'd been doing this for at least half a year, maybe longer. While I'd been working 60-hour weeks to afford the house she wanted. While I'd been planning our future. While I'd been faithful. "There's more," Steve said quietly. "Check file number 17. I opened it. Not a video, a document. A private journal entry Jessica had been keeping in her notes app. Marcus is so clueless. He actually thinks I'm at yoga. Tyler just left and I'm writing this from the hotel room. God, the thrill of this is incredible. 5 men now, and Marcus doesn't suspect a thing. He's so trusting, it's almost pathetic. When I finally tell him about the divorce, it'll destroy him. Part of me feels guilty, but mostly I just feel powerful. I've never felt this alive. I read that paragraph 5 times. She enjoyed deceiving me. It wasn't just about the affairs, it was about the betrayal itself, about knowing she was fooling me. I forwarded everything to Richard Chen. His response came 2 hours later. This changes everything. With this evidence, we can argue for dissipation of marital assets, fault-based grounds in settlement negotiations, and potentially limit her share significantly. But Marcus, and this is important, you cannot confront her yet. We need to prepare everything first. File the counter petition, secure assets, build the legal fortress. Then we reveal what we know. So I waited. I opened a separate bank account and started moving my paychecks there. Legally, because we were separated. I changed my retirement account beneficiaries. I organized every document, every photo, every piece of evidence into binders. Jessica called me occasionally during these 2 weeks. "How are you doing?" she'd asked, her voice dripping with false concern. "I'm managing, just trying to process everything. It's for the best. For the best." While she was sleeping with 5 different men and filming it, while she was spending our money on hotels and gifts for her affair partners, while she was writing in her journal about how pathetic and clueless I was, during week 3, something changed. I stopped feeling hurt. The sadness crystallized into something else. Clarity. I had a choice. I could fall apart. I could be the victim she expected me to be. Or I could be something else.
Jessica came to the house on a Saturday morning to pick up more of her things. I'd agreed to be there to let her in. Chen advised me to document everything, so I had a small camera running in the living room, positioned to look like a home security system. She walked in wearing designer workout clothes, bought with our joint credit card, no doubt, and immediately started going through the closet. "You seem different," she said, not looking at me. I was sitting on the couch, laptop open, responding to work emails. Different how? I don't know. Calmer, maybe? I thought you'd be more upset. I glanced up at her, and I smiled. Not a big smile, just a small, knowing one. "I'm fine, Jess, just focused on moving forward." She stopped, a box of shoes in her hands, and stared at me. "You're smiling." "Am I?" "Marcus, what's going on with you?" I went back to my laptop. "Nothing's going on, just answering some emails. Take whatever you need." She stood there for a long moment. I could feel her watching me. When I finally looked up again, her expression had changed. Suspicious, almost nervous. "You've been really cooperative about all of this," she said slowly. "The papers, the asset disclosure, everything. You wanted a divorce. I'm not going to make it difficult." "That's good. I just thought you'd fight more." "Why would I fight? You made your feelings clear." Another long pause. Then, "Have you been okay, mentally?" I almost laughed. She was worried about me? "I'm great, actually. Work's going really well. Got assigned to lead the new healthcare project. Biggest account the firm's ever landed. Been hitting the gym more, reconnecting with friends. This separation has been good for me." This was all true, by the way. Once I'd stopped wallowing and started preparing, I'd thrown myself into everything. The gym became my outlet, work became my focus. I'd lost 15 pounds, built muscle, slept better. Ironically, I'd never been in better shape. Jessica's face did something strange. "You've been going to the gym?" "Turns out I have a lot more free time now." She set the box down. "Can I ask you something? Are you seeing someone?" I looked at her directly. "Would it matter if I was?" No, I guess not. I just wondered."
I'm not, but I appreciate the concern. She picked up the box again, but her movements were jerky now, agitated. You're acting weird, Marcus. Am I? I thought I was being pretty normal. No, this whole calm thing, the smiling, it's not like you. I closed my laptop and stood up, walked to the kitchen. Want some coffee? What? No, I want to know what's going on with you. I poured myself a cup, added cream, stirred slowly. Jess, you told me you needed someone who excited you, someone who made you feel alive. I'm just trying to be less boring, less predictable. Isn't that what you wanted? Her jaw tightened. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? I didn't expect you to be okay with this so quickly. I took a sip of coffee, looked at her over the rim of the mug. Who said I'm okay with it? She went pale. What does that mean? It means exactly what I said. I'm not okay with my wife of 7 years telling me I'm not enough, but I'm dealing with it, moving on. What else can I do? You're scaring me. Why would I scare you? I haven't done anything. It's not what you're doing, it's how you're acting. This isn't you. I set the coffee down, walked back to the living room, sat down on the couch, opened my laptop again. Take your time with the boxes, lock the door when you leave. She didn't move for a full minute, just stood there, watching me. Then she grabbed her boxes and practically ran out of the house. After she left, I called Chen. She's getting paranoid, I told him, asked if I was seeing someone, said I was acting weird. Good, he said. That means she's feeling guilty. Guilty people get nervous when their victims stop acting like victims. How much longer until we're ready? All the documents are organized. Bank accounts are separated. I've secured my retirement account. What's left? I file the counter petition on Monday. We schedule mediation for 2 weeks from now. And Marcus, at that mediation, we bring everything. All the evidence, every video file name, every hotel receipt, every text record. We drop it all at once. She won't know what hit her. Over the next few days, Jessica called me 3 times. She'd never called this much after she left. Hey, just checking in. How are you feeling about everything? I think we should talk about the property division. Each time, I was pleasant, cooperative, calm, and each time, she got more agitated. You're doing that thing again, she said on the 3rd call. What thing? That calm thing. It's unnatural. Jess, what do you want from me? You want me to cry? Beg you to come back? That's not happening. I'm respecting your decision and moving forward with my life. It's just, don't you want to know why? Don't you have questions? Oh, I had questions. Like, how did you justify sleeping with 5 men simultaneously? Did you ever actually love me? Were you ever planning to tell me the truth? Or were you just going to let me believe I wasn't enough? But I didn't ask any of that. Instead, I said, no, I don't think I do. Silence. Then, really? Really? You made your choice. I respect it. What else is there to say? Okay, I guess I'll see you at mediation. Looking forward to it. I hung up and immediately got a text from Derek. Dude, Jessica just called me asking if you're okay. She seems freaked out. What did you do? I replied, nothing. Just stopped being the person she expected me to be. His response was, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. This is the most confident I've ever seen you. The truth was, I wasn't confident. I was terrified of confrontation, terrified of what would happen when I finally showed her what I knew, terrified that somehow she'd still find a way to make me look like the bad guy. But I'd learned something in the past 3 weeks. Sometimes strength isn't about feeling brave. It's about acting like you are, even when you're scared to death. Mediation was scheduled for 2 o'clock on a Thursday. Richard Chen and I arrived 15 minutes early. Jessica and her attorney, a woman named Patricia Walsh, arrived exactly on time. The mediator's office was professional, neutral. designed to keep things civil. Wood paneling, large conference table, water bottles, and coffee service on the credenza. Jessica looked nervous. She'd dressed carefully, business casual, hair done, makeup perfect, trying to look reasonable, cooperative. The wronged party who just wanted a fair settlement. Patricia Walsh was all business. Mid-40s, expensive suit, the kind of divorce attorney who could smell blood in the water. We all sat down. The mediator, an older man named Howard, explained the process. We're here to reach an amicable agreement on asset division. Both parties have submitted initial proposals. Let's start with Mrs. Parker's requests. Patricia slid a document across the table. My client is requesting 50% of all marital assets, including the home, vehicles, retirement accounts, and savings. She's also requesting spousal support for 3 years while she reestablishes her career. I looked at the document. Then I looked at Jessica. She met my eyes briefly, then looked away. That seems reasonable, Howard said. Mr. Parker, your response. Richard Chen opened his briefcase. We have a counterproposal, but before we discuss division of assets, we need to address the issue of dissipation of marital assets by Mrs. Parker. Patricia's eyes narrowed. Dissipation? That's a serious accusation. It's a documented fact, Chen said calmly. He slid a folder across the table to Howard, and an identical one to Patricia. Over the course of the past 6 months, Mrs. Parker has spent approximately $27,000 in marital funds on extramarital affairs. Jessica's face went white. What? Patricia opened the folder. Her expression didn't change, but I saw her jaw tighten as she flipped through the pages. Phone records, credit card statements, hotel receipts, private investigator reports. Patricia started, then stopped, regrouped. Where did you obtain these records? The phone records are from the family account, which my client is the account holder for. The credit card statements are from joint accounts, all obtained legally. Jessica was shaking. Marcus, what is this? I didn't answer. Chen had coached me. Let him do the talking. Mrs. Parker, Howard said, looking at her. Are these records accurate? I don't know what they're talking about. Chen pulled out another document. We also have documentation of 5 separate individuals Mrs. Parker has been involved with during the marriage, including video evidence that Mrs. Parker herself created and stored in her personal cloud storage. The room went silent. Jessica's face wasn't just white anymore, it was gray. You went through my phone? You used the password I helped you create, the one you never changed, despite me telling you to 100 times. Patricia was speed reading through the documents. Her expression had shifted from aggressive to defensive. This is quite a lot of information. There's more, Chen said. He wasn't gloating, just stating facts. We have text messages between Mrs. Parker and one of her affair partners, Tyler Morrison, discussing the marriage, including messages where Mrs. Parker stated she was deliberately deceiving my client while conducting these affairs. He slid another page across. I knew what was on it. The journal entry. The one where Jessica had written about how clueless I was, how the deception made her feel powerful. Jessica read it and started crying. Marcus, please, can we talk about this privately? No, I said. It was the first word I'd spoken to her directly since we sat down. Marcus, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to what? I interrupted. To happen? Or to get caught? She opened her mouth, closed it. No answer. Patricia had regained her composure. Mr. Chen, dissipation claims are difficult to prove. Just because my client spent money, $27,000 on hotel rooms, restaurants, and gifts for 5 different men over 6 months, while telling my client she wanted a divorce because he was boring and not enough. I think any judge will find that relevant. Howard was making notes. This does complicate things significantly. Jessica was full-on sobbing now. Marcus, please, I made mistakes. I know I did, but we can work this out. We don't have to do this. I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I'd loved for 7 years, who I'd trusted completely. who I'd built a life with. And I felt nothing. Do you remember what you said to me that day in the kitchen? She wiped her eyes. Marcus, you said I was just there, like furniture. I didn't matter. I didn't mean it like that. You wrote in your journal that I was pathetic and clueless. I was confused. I wasn't thinking clearly. You filmed yourself with 5 different men. You spent our money on them. You planned this whole thing while I was working 60-hour weeks to build our future. I know I messed up, but we can fix this. No, I said again. We can't. I nodded to Chen. He pulled out one more document. This is my client's counterproposal. Given the evidence of dissipation, infidelity, and deception, we're requesting a 70-30 split of all marital assets in my client's favor. Mrs. Parker will receive 30% of the home equity, 30% of liquid savings, and no spousal support. Mr. Parker will retain his full retirement account as Mrs. Parker's actions constitute fault grounds that void her claim to those assets under state law. Patricia was reading fast. This is extremely aggressive. So was spending $27,000 on marital funds on affairs, Chen replied. Howard was making notes. This does complicate things significantly. Jessica was full on sobbing now. Marcus, please, do not do this. You already did it. I'm just finishing it. I watched to the door. Chen gathered his materials. Marcus, Jessica called, at least tell me, why did you marry me if this is how you were going to act when things got hard? I stopped, turned back. Things didn't get hard, Jess. You made a choice. You chose to betray me, you chose to lie, you chose to spend our money on your affairs, you chose to write in your journal about how powerful it made you feel to deceive me. None of that was hard. It was deliberate. But I loved you. No. I interrupted one last time. You loved what I could give you. The security, the house, the lifestyle, but you didn't love me. Because if you had, you wouldn't have done any of this. I looked at Patricia. 48 hours. Then I walked out. In the hallway, my hands were shaking. Chen put a hand on my shoulder. You did great in there. I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's normal. But Marcus, you just won. She has no leverage, no defense. Her attorney knows it. We'll have settlement papers by Monday. We walked out of the building into the afternoon sunlight. I took a deep breath. My phone buzzed. Text from Derek. How'd it go? I replied, it's over. And for the first time in 4 weeks, I meant it. Week 1 after mediation. Patricia Walsh called Richard Chen on Monday morning. Jessica had agreed to the 70-30 split. She'd also agreed to waive spousal support. The divorce would be finalized in 60 days. I moved through that first week in a strange fog. Part relief, part disbelief, part raw grief for the life I'd thought I had. But I kept moving forward. At work, I threw myself into the healthcare project. It was massive, 18-month timeline, $20 million budget, cross-functional teams, the kind of project that could make or break a career. I worked 12-hour days, not because I had to, because I wanted to, because focusing on something constructive felt better than thinking about Jessica. My project sponsor, Linda Chen, no relation to my attorney, called me into her office on Friday. Marcus, I'm promoting you to Director of Strategic Projects, effective immediately. 20% raise, company car, you've earned it. I stared at her. Thank you. You've been on fire lately. Whatever's going on in your personal life, you've turned it into fuel. Keep it up. On Saturday, I went furniture shopping. The house was still half empty from Jessica taking her things. I bought a new couch, new dining table, new bed, erased every trace of her. Derek came over to help me assemble everything. Dude, you look different. How? I don't know. Lighter? Is that weird to say? No, I admitted. I feel lighter. Week 2. I started hearing things through mutual friends. Jessica had moved back in with her sister. She'd quit her job, couldn't handle the stress apparently. One of her affair partners, Tyler, had dumped her when he found out about the others. Rachel, one of our mutual friends, called me. Marcus, I owe you an apology. For what? For believing Jessica's version of things. She told everyone you were cold and distant, that you'd stopped trying. I believed her. It's okay. No, it's not. I saw the court documents. What she did to you, that's unforgivable. Word spread fast in our social circle. Suddenly, people were taking sides. Most sided with me. Jessica called me once that week. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Marcus, I know you don't want to talk to me. I get it. But I need you to know I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry. I ruined everything. I threw away the best thing in my life because I was selfish and stupid. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know. I deleted it without responding. Week 4. I joined a hiking group, started going to concerts again, something I'd loved before Jessica, but she'd always said she found them boring. Reconnected with old friends I'd lost touch with. One of them, Alex, invited me to a dinner party. Bring someone if you want, or don't. Just come. I went alone. And that's where I met Sarah. She was Alex's sister visiting from Seattle. Software engineer, sharp sense of humor, pretty in an understated way. We talked for 3 hours about hiking, about work, about life. She knew I was going through a divorce. Alex had mentioned it, but she didn't press. So, you're a project manager? That sounds stressful. It can be, but I like solving problems, organizing chaos. Controlled chaos? Exactly. She smiled. I get that. My job is similar. Everyone thinks software engineering is logical, but it's really just managing constant disasters. We exchanged numbers. She texted me the next day. Want to grab coffee? We met twice more before she flew back to Seattle, but we kept texting, then calling, then video chatting. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but Sarah felt easy, natural, like I could breathe around her. Week 8. The divorce was finalized. I signed the papers in Chen's office. Jessica signed them remotely. We didn't see each other. Chen shook my hand. You handled this with more grace than most people would have. I hope you're proud of yourself. I am, I realized, and I meant it. That weekend, Sarah flew back to visit. We spent 2 days hiking, eating at restaurants we both wanted to try, talking about everything and nothing. On the second night, over dinner, she said, I know this is fast, and I know you're just coming out of something difficult, but I really like you, Marcus. I really like you too. So what do we do about the fact that I live in Seattle and you live here? I'd been thinking about that. What if I didn't? Her eyes widened. What? My company has a Seattle office. I could request a transfer. It's a lateral move, same position. I've been thinking about a change anyway. Marcus, that's a big decision. I know, but I'm ready for big decisions. I spent 7 years making small, safe choices. Look where that got me. She reached across the table and took my hand. Then, yeah, do it. Month 3. I put the house on the market, accepted a position in Seattle, started packing up my life. Jessica heard through mutual friends. She called. This time, I answered. You're moving to Seattle? Yes. Because of what happened? No, because I want to. Silence. Then, I heard you're seeing someone. I am. Are you happy? I thought about it. Yeah, Jess, I am. Glad. And she actually sounded like she meant it. I'm really. You deserve to be happy. So do you. I don't know if I believe that anymore. You made mistakes, bad ones, but you can recover from them. How? By actually being sorry, not just saying it, by dealing with whatever made you do what you did, by being better. I'm trying. Then keep trying. We hung up. It was the last time we spoke. Month 6. I moved to Seattle in early spring. Sarah helped me unpack boxes in my new apartment. We'd been officially dating for 3 months, and it felt right in a way nothing with Jessica ever had. This is a good space, Sarah said, looking around. Good light, Close to work, you can see the mountains from the bedroom. It's perfect. That evening, we went to dinner at a restaurant downtown, celebrated the move, talked about the future. As we walked back to my apartment, hand in hand, I realized something. I wasn't thinking about Jessica, wasn't angry anymore, wasn't hurt. I'd moved on. Completely. Month 12. 1 year after Jessica had told me I was boring and left, Sarah and I were at a farmer's market on a Saturday morning picking out vegetables for dinner. When I saw her, Jessica, she was alone. She looked thinner, tired. Her hair was different, shorter, less styled. She was wearing jeans and a sweater, carrying a single bag of groceries. Our eyes met across the vegetable stand. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she walked over. Marcus, Jess. Sarah was next to me, holding my hand. Jessica's eyes went to our intertwined fingers. Hi, Sarah said pleasantly. I'm Sarah. Jessica, she managed. I'm Marcus's ex-wife. Nice to meet you. An awkward pause. What are you doing in Seattle? Jessica finally asked. I live here now. Transferred for work. Been here about 6 months. Oh, that's great. Another pause. She looked at Sarah again, then back at me. You look really happy. I am. I'm glad. She hesitated, dilated. I'm sorry for everything. I know I already said that, but I need to say it again. I know. Thank you. She nodded, started to walk away, then turned back. Marcus, you were never boring. I was just too stupid to see how good I had it. Take care of yourself, Jess. You too. She left. Sarah squeezed my hand. You okay? Yeah, I said, and I was. Month 18. Sarah and I got engaged on a hiking trip to Mount Rainier. I proposed at sunrise on a ridge overlooking the valley. She said yes. We planned the wedding for the following summer. Small ceremony, close friends and family, everything we wanted. Derek flew out to Seattle to be my best man. Over beers the night before the wedding, he said, Man, I'm so proud of you. For what? For handled everything. When Jess left, I honestly thought you'd fall apart. Instead, you became this whole different person. Not different, but just more myself, maybe, without someone telling me I wasn't enough. She really did a number on you. She did. But in a weird way, she gave me a gift. How do you figure that? She forced me to rebuild my life, to figure out who I was without her, to stop settling. If she hadn't left, I'd probably still be in that marriage, thinking I was happy, while she was doing God knows what. That's a very generous way to look at it. I'm not saying I'm grateful she cheated, but I'm grateful I got out. The next day, I married Sarah in front of 40 people who loved us. We danced, we laughed, we started our life together. I didn't think about Jessica once. Epilogue.